Beautiful Tuesday night for some more Spartans Master Series action from the old Atlanta Motor Speedway. The old mile and a half with an old worn out surface where you actually have to race the racetrack. It is so beautiful. And we're here tonight to bring you all 156 laps of action. I'm Austin Estrom, standing alongside Joe LaCastro, and Austin Derbyshire is behind the production booth as always. Joe, I can't wait to get this one started, if you cannot tell from the inflection in my voice.
Yeah, the inflection is there. It's hot. I can feel the heat from across the fiber optic cable. This is something that I'm excited for because you're excited for it. I have very little to no experience here on this track at all, so this is going to be a very raw learning experience for me. So please, Guru, tell me all about it.
Oh, I absolutely will. We're going to jump right into my keys to the race this week, and the first one up is going to be to treat that set of tires, every single set of tires, like your firstborn child. I mean, you need to cradle that thing, you need to baby it. You hear one little cough, you need to kiss it on its forehead. Take care of those things like your life depend on it, because it does. And then into the second key here, race the track, not the competition. A little bit more serious here. Look, the racetrack is what it is. This is the oldest surface, or at least it used to be whenever, it was still the surface. So going back to it on the iRacing platform, I mean, it's older than Darlington. It's worn out, man. I mean, there's just no tire saving. In the southeastern United States, the sun has been beaten on this. And then down to the third key. Hit like a lady, because the track is so worn out and because your tires are going to be absolutely killed after 50 laps, man, you come down under green flag pit stops sequence, you got to pit like a lady. Back that thing down. Do not be aggressive. Just get in there. Just get in there. That's all you got to do.
All right. Keep all that in mind.
Yeah. We're going to move into our broadcast picks, though. Going up first, myself. Now, I got to say, this was the Edstrom double up this week. I'm going with Justin Levine. Joe, who'd you pick?
I went with PB Henry. I was looking at where he is in the championship standings, and I just like a guy who's sitting around third place.
Okay, well, that's a fair pick. Well, and there's the double up right there, and this was my fault this time. Darby went with Justin Levine before I did. I just think old worn-out racetrack like this plays into Justin's skill set, so I think he's going to be pretty quick. But he did not put down a good lap in practice at all. But at a racetrack like this, if you're laying down a heater in practice, you're either on a Q run or you're doing it wrong.
Let's take a look at, speaking of points, the standings right now for this race. We're on race 7, I believe, this week of the race, of the Masters Series. Joseph Causey is currently in the lead with 499 points overall. Justin Levine in second place with 473. PB Henry, my pick for the race, is in third with 441. The gap from there is a pretty big one. It's 120 points down to Kyle Westwood. So if anyone's going to be doing any moving around, it might end up being the 4th, 5th, and 6th positions. But Westwood could, with a very good win, put himself into a little more shooting position for that top 3. That top 3, though, is pretty locked in.
Top 3 have kind of skated away, and I believe that they finished top 3 in both of the last 2 races, if I'm not mistaken. So it kind of makes sense that they're top 3 up on the board. Maybe they've been top 5 last 2 races. I know for a fact they finished all on the podium in at least one of them.
I can tell you that. Oh,
go ahead.
I was going to say I can tell you out of the last 6 races, Justin Levine's had 5 top 5s, and Joseph Causey's had 4.
Yeah, and the only one Causey didn't get is whenever he wrecked himself out. So he's a bit of a checkers or wreckers kind of guy.
We'll see what he does.
So we got to watch out for that because, a racetrack like Atlanta kind of scares me for a guy like Causey because, he's kind of one of those guys that'll overstep it just a little bit, I feel like. He'll have the pace. He'll look like he's saving tires good, but then he'll just make one little mistake where that right rear is just going to go away. And, well, back end steps out.
And as you were saying, this is going to be the kind of track where right rear is going to be something that's on these drivers' minds.
We're going to go ahead and run through the starting grid, though, see who's best at 1 lap pace here at Atlanta. It's not going to win you the race, but, man, it's going to get you a pretty good starting position at a racetrack like Atlanta. Chris Hudson up on the pole. Scott Healy is going to be on his outside in second. Caleb Mitchell starting on the inside of row number 2 with Joseph Causey on his outside in 4th. Kevin Zosiak lines up in the 5th place spot with PB Henry on the outside in 6th. Timothy Babcock lines up on the inside of row number 4. Chuck Burley is going to be on the outside of that row with Kyle Westwood and Dave Fuge Jr. rounding out the top 10.
Moving into number 11, that's Daryl Klotz. And then on the outside, Robert Besaw Jr. Number 13, that's Jordan Sailors. 14, David Salter. 15, Ed Shearer Jr. 16, Chase Johnson. In the 17th position, Cody Curran. 18, Corey Moore. 19, Evan Ethel. And 20th, Chris Vincent.
21st is Scott Schroeder with Charles Van Schack on his outside in 22nd. Jarrett Feltman is going to be lining up in the 23rd place position with Charles Albert on his outside in 24th. Lou Christian on the inside in 25th with Mark Sanchez on his outside in 26th. Kyle Gerlach and Sammy Harrell right behind those guys in 27th and 28th. And rounding out the top 30 is going to be Tim Ringer and Jeffrey Oakes.
In 31st, James Staples. 32nd, Johan Seminario. 33rd, Devin Maines. 34th, Kenny Powell. 35th, Justin Levine, who, again, we didn't put down a really great time, but both of our 2 picks tonight. Then Jeffrey Souza on the outside. Art Nicotera next, followed by Wesley Woods in 38th. 39th, Kobe Jackson. And 40th, Todd Parent.
41st is Jake Hickson. Kyle Fountain is going to be starting in the 42nd place spot. And then rounding out the 43-car field here tonight is going to be Dakota Jorgensen. So that's going to be the full 43 cars that are going to be given a heck of a show from Atlanta. And, I mentioned the green flag pit stops in the Keys. You're probably thinking, man, we just went through a full field of 43 cars. You really think we're going to get some green flag runs? And I say yes. This is Atlanta. This place is built on green flag runs. We might not get it right at the start, but once we kind of realize we got to save tires, I think we're going to kind of ease into this thing.
All right, we only got 2 stages, then we've only got 4 tires in the pits. So if there's too many of those yellows, we could see people starting to ride the line a little bit close as we get further down the line here.
Racetrack like Atlanta, you're absolutely right, but the green flag is flying. Chris Hudson brings us down to the start-finish line, and we're racing from the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Very good. Hudson's on the inside right now, though. Healy's got him by about a half length on the outside. Hudson holding on to the inside line, down to the yellow line, or to the white line in this case. Not able to do it as the 64 machine pulls ahead.
Healy had a really good run on the outside of the racetrack. Got a little squirrely, but was still able to clear. Coming down into turn number 3, diving it down into the corner. Hudson washing up in the wake, coming down into turn 3 and then fixing it. Coming around to 4, still has a little bit of grip in the tires. So if you miss the entry, you can fix it through the center. But 20 laps in, if you miss the entry, nah, your whole corner is going to be gone. Hudson able to recover for now, hanging on to second, still on the back bumper of Healy, but still a little bit of side-by-side action further back, outside of the top 7 or so. Hard racing. We got Chuck Burley on the outside of, I believe it's Dave Fuge. No, sorry, Fuge is right in front of him. David Salter's on the inside making the move.
Yeah, I'm watching Salter here. I was just moving back to that battle. Quite a 2x2 there. We had a couple of cars that were shuffling through, and it looks like Dave Fuge Jr. is going to be doing pretty good.
Yeah, Fuge was getting through. Now Henry up towards the front of the field is trying to make the move for second. On the outside of the racetrack, I think you're going to have the move done. PB Henry, he's going to do it. Now, like I said, though, the tires wear out so quick here. So any position you gain early, any bit of time that you put between yourself and the guys behind you at the beginning, you're probably going to give a decent bit of that back later. So if you're somebody like PB Henry storming to the front right off the bat, as he is on the outside of the leader, you might want to think twice. You might be burning it up too early. But right now, PB Henry's not thinking about that. He's thinking about the race lead.
And the stage win is still a pretty far way off right now. It's now the time to be charging ahead. Like you said, it's going to be a matter of endurance for PB Henry. If he can get the lead, get out in front and hold it, it could go pretty well for him.
He's got the clean air. Clean air definitely helps you save tires a little bit, but if you push too hard to get there, it might not be worth it. But as we look a little bit further throughout the field, Salter down to the inside of Westwood's on the outside there. Kyle Westwood trying to hang on. He's in the 9th place position. Salter still stuck on the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, washing up now, right behind the 22. A lot of these guys have stayed plastered to the bottom. Oh, Fuge up to the inside of the racetrack, made contact with Kyle Westwood coming out of turn number 2. What a save from Dave Fuge.
Kept it straight. Definitely a moment where it looked like there was a little bit of contact potentially, and Fuge had a chance to lose it. Didn't. Really, really good driving.
Henry still has the lead up at the front. Healy now starting to drive a little bit harder, keeping up to the back bumper of Henry, pushing him along. And these guys are starting to drop the rest of the pack. I know you're like, Chris Hudson's right there, but it's a little bit further back than it has been. I think that the top 2 are pushing just a little bit harder than, honestly, the rest of the field. You see a couple gaps throughout the field, kind of discerning where people are pushing the hardest and where they're not. I just don't think that the pace you're seeing right now, 6 laps into this thing, it's just not going to be telling of the finishing order, I don't think.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Oh, contact right now. That was David Salter. He took a little bit of a bump. Kept it straight in the turn, though. Could have sworn there was a little bit of a hit between Timothy Babcock and David Salter there. Salter moving ahead. A bit of a mover and shaker himself. Salter's up 7 positions. He's been really chewing up the track a little bit early here, trying to get some early positions out of it. And his aggressiveness has paid off.
Yeah, he was riding the bottom for a while, but I guess he thought that 6 laps of saving was enough because he's all the way to the outside, just ripping past people. I mean, into 6, looking to the outside of Kazi again, just driving it in deeper, getting back on the gas, and letting that number 28 roll the top side. He's going to break into the top 5 here down the back.
Absolutely. Sitting up there at the front, Henry's looking pretty right now, but further back, there's a lot of shuffling going on still. Kalen Mitchell throwing a bit of a block right now on Timothy Babcock. Westwood on the outside. Westwood trying to get the distance on Mitchell. Mitchell looking there in that DeWalt 67. He's got him on the inside. Squeeze. Not quite enough to keep him back, though. A couple other cars on the outside as well, thinking that they've got a slice. I think that's Jordan Sailors back there and Chase Johnson.
Kalen not quite clear of Westwood for the 8th place spot, or sorry, 7th place, as we work down to 3, still side by side. Kalen dealing with a little bit of dirty air from Kazi right in front of him. Westwood ripping the top now through 3 and 4. I feel like the top of 3 and 4 is just really, really good, man. Westwood really able to, clear himself and then get side by side with Kazi, trying to break himself into 6. Westwood's been making moves the last couple laps.
He really has been. He's up 2 positions right now in a very competitive spot in the race. This area, the 6, 7, 8 block, there have been some challenges for this position. Guys just trying to claw their way up towards the top 5, and Kyle Westwood has been there just hovering around it. Started 9th, now 6th, so he's seen all of these battles come and go, and he's stayed on top for just about all of them, as we're still only a few laps in, but it's still pretty quiet.
Side by side down into turn number 1. A lot of these guys still fighting pretty hard. Even 11 laps into this run, some of these guys not quite ready to save just yet. Jordan Saylor's in front of us, two wide battle for the 11th place spot. Chase Johnson down on the inside. Scher's trying to get the momentum. He's going to get blocked coming off the corner. Scher with nowhere to go. Has to give up some momentum. Late move there from Johnson up the racetrack, but able to get it done cleanly. Side by side behind them. Burley down on the inside. Cody Curran up to the top. Kieran's going to clear him. Does he get the momentum coming off the top of the corner to be able to make a move? Unsure in front. Don't think he's going to be able to, but Burley's not able to get cleared. Vincent's going to be able to fill the spot on the outside. Seems like the outside's the place to be whenever you're double file.
Right now, absolutely.
Single file, go to the bottom.
Vincent's got a little bit loose there off the turn, but he's definitely been making the outside work for him, as almost everybody we've seen so far tonight has definitely been able to. It's, I guess, the hidden secret right now of Atlanta Legacy is that the outside seems to be a place you can really keep that momentum up, and it might end up costing you later, but early on it's been working out.
So far it has been working out. Only 13 laps into this thing, though, so 25 laps into this. I'm a little worried about some of these high side slingers, like David Salter, who has ripped himself up to the top 4 now. Now top 3, excuse me. Just passed Kevin Zosiak that lap. Hudson down to the inside, though. Caleb Mitchell's the guy coming through. He's gotten to the right rear of Hudson. He's the next one making use of that top side of the racetrack. He's gotten past Kazi, now getting past Hudson. And remember, Hudson was up at the very, very front of this thing right off the bat. He wasn't one of the initial 2 that went off scurrying, but now he's dropping through the pack. So maybe he's starting to save a little bit heavier, or he's just feeling the effects. It might be feeling the effects because now he's in the fence.
Yeah, I saw that right as you said, feeling the effects. We saw the effects. He went right up into the fence a little bit, scared some of the guys down to the apron, but everybody's back on the track. Nothing out of that is going to be a yellow flag. We're still racing as Kalen Mitchell falls back a little bit in line, but still 3 positions down from where he started. And Chris Hudson now down 9 positions from where he started, unfortunately.
Oh, 3 wide, just about for 3rd. They are going to be 3 wide coming down the front straightaway. One gets into the grass, has to let it go. But man, Salter, Westwood going at it now, coming down to 1. Salter down on the bottom, Kyle Westwood way up top. And there's a train of cars ready to go past Salter up at the top side of the racetrack. Kayla Mitchell following Westwood through. They're going to be in 3rd and 4th down the back. And now for the race lead, Petey Henry, Seeley, Scott Healy getting down to the inside.
Very close, 2 by 2 here. There's a lot of racing going on for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. This battle for 1st, though, is a clincher. We're all right behind them. The battle for 3rd is between Kyle Westwood and Kevin Mitchell. Kyle Westwood has the overall number of laps raced in the season so far. So we know that he's got the experience to pull it off.
Scott Healy making the move for the lead coming out of turn number 2. Look at that. Scott Healy up to the lead. I thought that even though he was in 2nd, I thought, with him being in the dirty air and still running the fast, or, equal to PB, he'd be burning off the tires just as bad, but Healy able to get the move done, and he did it on the bottom. Everybody else has been making the moves up top. Somebody's mowing the lawn through the front straightaway, able to save it and get back up on the racetrack, but somebody with a skirt through the dirt, that was David Salter.
Well, as long as it works for him, it looks like it might not have. Unfortunately, it's going to put him back a little bit there.
Here's the replay. David Salter going sightseeing down the front straightaway. Ooh, hitting the fence out of 4. Just giving a little kiss, and then that's kissing the wife and mowing the grass.
Oh, it scared a few people. Checked up
Edward,
the Bubba Pants
sure, tried to go
car.
for the pass in the grass.
Let's get one more look at that from on board Curran. There he goes.
Man, I don't know why Ed went through the grass. He had no reason to go to the grass, but he did it anyway. I'm questioning Scher Jr.'s processing skills, but other than that, smooth.
It looks like we didn't even register that as an off track. That was a weird situation. I guess that's legal.
Grass is legal.
Why not? At this point.
Somebody making some big moves from the back. Justin Levine, he's up from 35th. Oh, side by side with Devin Maines. He made contact with him for the 23rd place spot. These guys racing hard, even further back in the pack. Doesn't matter where you're at. Timothy Babcock and Jared Feltman going at it. It's for 8th. A little bit further up through the field, but it's still a dogfight further back. I mean, look at them coming off the corner. They fan out like crazy coming off. They get it somewhat sorted down the back, but then everybody just choosing different lines again, filing down to 3. A lot of crazy racing, a lot of moves being made all throughout the pack, except for a little bit back here. This is probably the only lonely place.
Yeah.
Oh, and PB Henry up front, who's got a half-second lead. That feels pretty nice.
That's true. PB Henry up front. Scott Healy even further ahead at this point, a half a second out from PB Henry. I guess Henry feeling the effects now, maybe wanting to hold back and realizing that hard driving he was doing is just going to eat things up way too fast. Better to just maybe pull off a half a step. Keep your second place position, get that good stage finish, but don't put too much on the line quite so soon.
Now you say that, but I don't know. Yeah, I said PB Henry in the lead. I don't know what I was saying. Scott Healy up in the lead. PB Henry's the one dropping back. He's not gonna be lonely here as Joseph causes up to the back bumper, but Healy, the guy in the lead, is moving. Just mowed him down. Skazi taking second. PB's starting to struggle. I just can't believe how fast Healy's been because he was right on PB's bumper. He's moving the same speed as PB, but man,
yeah,
he saved him pretty well to still be able to be out there in the lead now in the clean air.
Henry now down to 4th. Still up 2 from where he started, but not quite as dominant as he was a few laps ago.
And I said Levine was 25th a couple laps ago. He's now 19th. So, him and Seminario both. Seminario's up to 17th from 32nd. So both those guys flying through the field. Look at this mess they're getting through right now out of turn number 4. They might pick off 2 more down the front straightaway.
Wow. Yeah, I was just watching the overall list of cars here, and their names are bumping up every time.
Oh, Besaw and Babcock almost made contact behind Levine. Oh, it was so close. Levine almost got taken out while we were on his root cam. Holy cow. These guys, big move a little bit further back as well. Is that Colby Jackson making a move down to the inside for about 25th?
Let's see, there's a lot of 2-wide action happening right now as both grooves at Atlanta are getting used.
Oh, what a save. Does he hang on to that? Who in the world just did that and how? I thought he was gone.
Wow, no way.
Who was it? Who was? Was that Jake Hickson? No. Daryl Klotz. Daryl Klotz goes for a ride. He locked down the brakes right before he got into the grass, and I really think that's what saved him. If he hit those, Besaw came down. But if he hit the grass while he was sideways without hitting the brakes, I really think he was gone. That was a heck of a job by Klotz to hang on.
Brilliantly done. Good reflexes.
No kidding, because there's no time. Basically no time between getting contacted and going into the grass, and he somehow got a brake pedal in between that. I'm honestly surprised.
Yeah, got the brake pedal in, kept the wheels straight. Sure, as soon as he hit that grass, the car was trying to fight the wheel.
Ooh, Van Schack on the outside, going to be tight. Coming out of turn number 4, Jordan Saylor's down to the inside, trying to make a move for 9th. Coming out of turn number 1, Saylor's using what's been the preferred groove while we're single file, but with Van Schack way out on the outside with momentum down the back straightaway, just not going to be able to do anything. I think he's going to lose the spot. Van Schack goes through for 9th.
Makes it up there. Getting closer and closer to the 3rd place position in the top 3. It's Kevin Zosiak, who just made a pass a minute ago on PB Henry. Zosiak now a little ways behind Kalen Mitchell, only about a half a second though. He's been making up these half seconds here and there. It's been working for him. We'll have to see if he can make it up and get up on the bumper of Kalen Mitchell.
Oh, Ooh, big issues out of turn 2. Somebody way down to the inside wall. What in the world are we doing for 20th back here? Oh, Devin Main's back on the racetrack. Right in front of, is that Timothy Babcock? Holy cow.
I can't believe he came back. The chutzpah on this guy. Wow.
Thought we were dead.
Yeah. I thought for sure that he was going to come back up and just wallop someone with the attempt to stay straight, but
something happened in front of him, and he takes a base. Oh! Talk about a super sideways and then a save. I don't think Maine's needed to do that, but fair enough.
Ooh.
But whatever happened further in front, I mean, one car was dead sideways. Obviously, some contact coming out of turn number 2.
Looked like a brake check. Somebody really hard in him for a second. A couple of cars even.
Colby Jackson out of Mains is inside. Just never, it never ends whenever you're back in the mid-pack to a little bit further back. I mean, it's just consistently you are in the mess. I mean, we're 31 laps into this, and look at this hornet's nest.
It is a meat grinder.
18th, 17th on back. This is what 17th on back looks like. 18th. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, Colby Jackson and Devin Mains at the front. Contact. Colby ended up getting out of the gas. He was about to wreck Devin. Smart decision from Colby to get out of it. But man, he gave up a lot of speed down the front.
Can the two of them keep it together? Let's see. Up at the very, very front, Scott Healy is still getting chased down, this time by Joseph Gauzy. Gauzy with only 2/10 off the bumper here. Smooth driving and good decision making on entrance and exits could be all the difference it means. Pardon me, all the difference that it takes.
To be fair, with Gauzy running down 0.8 of a second since he's taken second, I feel like it's not a foregone conclusion, but I feel like he's going to get the lead at some point unless the green flag cycle just rears its ugly head in the middle of it, which you never know. I do believe we need a pit stop in this first stage here, so I got to think we got to be coming down here pretty soon.
Yeah, let's see what the leaders have to say about it and if they decide to stay out. Sounds like there's a little bit of chatter on the radio about pitting potentially, so a few people might be taking this opportunity.
Now, if you're in a battle for the lead or for one of these top spots, you want to be one of the last guys on tires, right? Now, you don't want to leave yourself so little time that you run out of laps before the end of the stage, but you really don't want to be the first guy down pit road. You don't want to be the second guy down pit road. You don't want to be down pit road the first couple laps. You want to give it a couple and give yourself an advantage. It is such a big deal to have a couple laps on him. Healy down to the inside, almost feigning like he's going to pit road this time.
It definitely looks like it. Or I thought it was maybe.
He's getting off the gas pedal, getting down to the brake, and down onto pit road, pitting like a lady. Scott Healy from the lead.
I was about to say, is it a ladylike pit? I think it was.
It was. That was perfectly ladylike. Feminine, if you will.
He's ready for the cotillion.
Kyle Westwood down pit road as well. He's made it nice and safe.
A couple other names.
Man, everybody's getting down pit road pretty well. I think everybody's thinking smart. Oh, Healy, he got the pit road well, but he slipped through his box. That's the easy part, man.
That's not good. Yeah, you got to watch out for the guy with the flag.
See, how long does Kazi leave it now? Does he just give him the one lap? No, Kazi stayed on the pit, or stayed out on the racetrack one more time. So this is what I was talking about. You don't want to come down the first couple laps. Let all these guys go. You'll just blow their doors off come the very back end of the second stint. If you got enough laps, which I really do think that they'll be fine. I believe this stage ends at lap 65, so a ways to go in it.
That's about right. I was just about to check that and see about when this stage ended. So we can
95% sure, so you still might want to check.
All right, I'll check for you. 65, you are correct, sir.
Okay, good. And there's Kazi, 2 laps after. Somebody still on the racetrack. Johan Levine, Edward Shore Jr. is the guy in the lead, so these guys giving 3 laps to the race leader. Kazi just gives them 2. He decides to pit after that. I think that's smart. Really, the only guy Kazi is racing was Scott Healy. Healy slid through the box, and Kazi gave him 2 laps on fresher tires. So how big did that box slide come into play? I still think he's going to be in front of Kazi. It definitely hurt him a little bit.
He's going to be in front of Kazi, but, I think that, as you said, it's going to hurt him a little bit. I'm kind of wondering exactly how.
I mean, just the time. You lose
Just
the time
overall
at the end of the
time.
day. And look, coming on, this is where it hurts him. Kazi, okay, look, they were even tires at the end of that last stint. Kazi was 1 second back, and he got all the way to 2/10. So Healy right now, after pitting two, even though did Healy only take 2 tires?
Wow.
Okay, well then, Healy took 2 tires, Kazi took 4. Now it's even more done. Okay, but so this even proves my point even more. Healy should have came out, I mean, 5 football fields in front of him. He had 2 lap pressure tires.
It's true.
And he took 2, so his pit stop was less. That's how bad the pit sequence was for him. Kazi's already going by him, and it just finished.
Yep.
I'm on pit road. 38.64 for Kazi, who took 4. 35.8 for Healy, so he should have gained 2.5 seconds, even with his slide through the box. And that's only on pit road. He should have gained even more on the racetrack because he had 2 fresher tires for 2 laps. I imagine he had to have gotten loose somewhere. Taking 2 tires can make you very, very loose, especially at a place like this. So maybe on the cold tires, Healy had a moment and gave up some ground.
Now Joseph Kazi is very comfortably in the lead now, 1.5 seconds ahead of Scott Healy, and that gap is very firmly increasing. 4 tires
He's
versus
great.
2.
You're right. He's loving it. He's loving what he's saying right now. He can't believe his luck.
Sometimes it's how the cards fall. Unfortunately, it looks like there's not much competition right now at the front of the field for Joseph Kazi. Soon lap traffic might come into play, but it's going to be a minute.
You know who's had a moment on the pit sequence? Justin Levine. He's a lap down.
Whoa.
He had a speeding penalty.
That's going to cost. Yep, that puts him pretty far back.
Wait. Was it a speed? I believe. One sec.
Sure.
I gotta make sure. I'm a little confused. Uh-oh. Never mind. He came down pit road, took tires. Yeah, he did have a speeding penalty. Never mind.
It's all right.
Might be dumb.
Here's your sign.
Yeah, sometimes, I was thinking he had to do a pass through, but then I was sitting there watching him sit in his box for 40 seconds, and I was like, wait a minute, that's the penalty that they give on the game. This is not real life. But
30 seconds.
the race for the lead is mostly sorted itself out for now. So we're gonna go ahead and take a step back as we eclipse the halfway point in stage number 1. If we come back, we got the finish to it coming up.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Spartans Master Series from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We've got about 15 laps to go in stage number 1 here. And Joseph Kazi is your race leader. Johan Seminario all the way from the back. He started in 32nd. He's the guy that's running in second place right now. He's gotten himself all the way up there. And, well, you would think he'd have a teammate with him, but unfortunately, Justin Levine had a speeding penalty. And we're having a little bit of internet troubles, it seems.
It's okay. We're introducing a new temporal iRacing format where the cars are both there and not there at the same time.
This is strobe racing on Grid Vision.
There we go.
Well,
strobe vision on Grid Vision. Some people pay extra for
I
this.
think we're going to go ahead and take a step away and give our little thing a little restart. We'll be right back. Well, hello, everybody. As you can see, we got a little bit of a black screen here, but that's not going to be permanent. We're going to get back to normal television broadcasting here shortly, but we're going to bring it to you radio style for now with S. Grossman in every single position. But we'll be sure to keep you updated throughout the field for just the next couple minutes as our producer gets the old iRacing back up and running. But through the field, as it stands right now, Joseph Kazi has the lead. He's got a 5-second gap over Johan, but that thing is shrinking. Can Johan get that down by the end of the stage? Only about 10 laps to go in the stage. Just now crossing for lap number 56, so don't think so. Edward Schur Jr. in third, right behind Johan. Jarrett Feltman, another 2/10 off the back bumper of Ed, with Dave Fuge Jr., another second half back. Kyle Westwood, though, is giving him a hard time for the 5th place position, with Chris Hudson right off the back bumper of those guys. Jordan Sailors as well. Robert Besaw Jr. and Jeffrey Souza. And, well, I guess we're not going to have to do radio style because we're back.
Heck yeah. Good to be back as we got eyes on Joseph Kazi here. With his 4.6 second lead.
Coming down to 10th a lap, but it's just not going to be nearly enough time. Maybe 2/10 a lap, but still not going to be enough. And at this point, I really think Kazi's just manages his car, not really pushing it too hard. He knows that he's about to get a yellow to break this thing up anyway, so just nurse this thing to the end of the stage. Don't push it. But the big story, man, and I'm trying to find them on my running order. That's how big of a story he is. I cannot find this man. Scott Healy, the guy that was winning this race during the pit stops, came down, took 2 tires. He's running 20th. He's back in 20th. Terrible strategy for the 64.
Oh, he's had some bad luck too. He's been getting a little bit loose on some of these exits, just spewing some smoke as I've been seeing. So keep an eye on that situation. He's not really surrounded by anybody right now, so if he does get loose, he can maybe get down to the inside, save things. But Scott Healy, something got up and under that machine, and it's just not been working out for him.
Yeah, 2 tires are a no-go. That's the message I'm receiving out of this. No way am I taking 2 tires the rest of the night if I'm anybody in this field. All you got to do is look at Scott Healy. I mean, he had dominated this race, really. I know PB got up there early, but, I mean, Scott got right back to the lead at the end of that green flag run, and you come to pit stops, and he took 2 tires, and, oh, it's just gone so wrong.
Of PB Henry, he's also back there almost at the lap cutoff. He's 19 positions down, sitting in 25th right now, with Art Nicotera right behind him. A lot of changing fortunes in the race tonight so far.
Cossie trying to get past some lap traffic. How hard is it? Oh, one in the fence. Who in the world just pounded the wall down? Holy cow.
Oh, no.
Art Nicotera. Oh, Art sideways on the top now, trying to get the lucky dog away from PB Henry. PB was up at the top of this thing not too long ago, but now he's the first guy 1 lap down, trying to run down Cossie.
Let's see if he can do it. He's right
Oh,
there.
there's no way. PB's right way off the pace. He's a second, a lap slower than Joseph Cossie, so there's no chance. He just got lapped. PB's on a backslide.
That's true. Again, yeah, that part of that changing fortune I was talking about.
Coming to 3 laps to go in the stage. How many can Joseph Cossie put a lap down? I mean, my goodness. We got 24 left on the lead lap at this point on the 62-lap green flag run. A couple of those being speeding penalties that put some guys behind. But, man, Cossie he's picking them up and putting them down. It's a lap. Guys like PB Henry, who had been running in the top 3 earlier, that's pretty big. And PB Henry's the top 3 guy in the standings. Like you said at the beginning of this race, that's your pick.
Now we got eyes back on the race. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of trouble myself. Just got things fixed here, and I'm seeing we got 2x2. More 2x2 racing going on. Who is that over there?
That was Feltman getting to the inside. I believe that was a slower lap car that was just getting put back a lap on these guys. Kyle Gerlach. Chris Hudson here in 5th place. He's done a good job hanging on to the top 5 through this long run.
Now we're trying to get into a place where the lap cars are mixing in with the lead cars, and so if anybody's going to get a chance to maybe make some passes with the help of one of those lap cars, we'll be able to see that happen. I'm just trying to keep track of who's who in terms of the lap cars versus lead cars, so forgive me if I make a few mistakes there. But it looks like Joseph Cossie out ahead, still holding on to that exact same gap with Seminario, and the first person back looking for that lucky dog lap, if it were to come out, that would be Tom Ringer right now in 24th position.
Is it going to be Ringer, though, coming to the checkered? Or the green and white checkered anyway. Cossie. Oh, I don't think he got him. He didn't get him at the line, but it's when the caution flag came out. I think that race control was on it, keeping Tom Ringer on the lead lap there. So Cossie able to pick up the stage win here in stage number 1. And, man, he dominated it. I mean, don't get me wrong. The beginning of this thing, he just kind of rode, bought his own time in 5th place, but that's kind of what you're supposed to do at Atlanta. After the green flag pit cycle, it was all Cossie.
Yeah, it really was. After that cycle, he was in a great position. The guys who were in front had some unfortunate calls. Obviously, Scott Healy had a really bad call there and ended up with the 2 tires. And
he almost
PB
went a lap
Henry,
down.
whatever happened there?
Scott Healy was 31 seconds off of the race lead. He was a second and a half. He was a second and a half from being a lap down.
That's a hard hit. From the top to the bottom.
Got lucky with the caution, though. Caution came out at the right time for Scott, and now everybody else is going to come down pit road. You can see Kazi had a lot of lap cars in between himself and second place, so he's going to have a big gap coming down pit road. Going to help him tremendously coming out. Should be an easy in and out for the race lead for Kazi, as everybody else is coming down to get their service.
Looking good. That's Edward Shearer Jr. in the Bubba Wallace paint.
Oh, that's a Tyler Reddick one, I think.
Tyler Reddick paint. Oh, I saw the big McDonald's on the front. I thought that was Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, I think that's that's Reddick's that he won with at Michigan this year.
Oh, there you go.
And he's number 45, so that's pretty telling too.
Ah, yeah, even better. Yeah.
that definitely puts the scheme together.
Yeah.
That would do it.
Didn't even look at that part. Was just looking at the M.
Hey, I like it. Dude, I miss the days whenever it was one sponsor for one driver. I don't blame you for getting them confused. I lose my mind whenever I see Stuart Haas or like RFK. They'll run out submarine or build submarines on both of them, and I'm like, man, why? It's in Formula One.
Looks like we got a comment from YouTube while we're going around here. Jay Simmons says, big story is the number 20 and 41 are doing a great job. It's 20 of Jeff Oaks. And the 41
20's in 9th, so Jeffrey Oaks is doing pretty solid in the top 10. Daryl Klotz just took the wave around. Or nope, never mind. Never mind, he came down pit road. So Klotz is still going to be a lap down.
Not sure if that was a backwards compliment or not, but I think it's fair to say they were doing pretty good.
A couple guys are taking the wave. I'm surprised. I thought that the run on tires would be too much, but Levine, he's one of the guys taking the risk. He's going to be hoping for an early yellow. All these guys. It looks like Abbott came down pit road. Scott Schroeder stayed out though. Evan Ethel stayed out. Kalen Mitchell, Justin Levine. I believe that was all the cars that are willing to go for the wave around. A couple others decided to stay a lap down, and they're going to go for the lucky dog on the next caution. I don't know. I'd probably go with the wave around myself. Might be a smarter goal because you're just automatically on the lead lap. But
yep.
I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Ooh, I just saw an ad for that new Maconi Setup Shop promo code. I might have to use that myself. Then I'll finally win a race. Right? Is that how it works?
Maybe.
You get a good setup, and then you finally get out of the fixed races.
Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a winner.
Oh man.
You still got to learn how to drive the open sets, and driving open sets is different than driving the fixed sets. I got to be honest. Takes a little bit of a different skill set. Fixed sets tend to be very, very tight race cars. You learn to drive a tight piece. The open sets, man, loose is fast. So you got to get that thing loosened up a little bit and learn how to drive a loose race car most of the time.
Ivy is about as fast as molasses on a cold day in Juneau. The lights are out in the pit car though. Looks like we're about to get started up here again. There's no water barriers for our pit car to hit.
Kazi and Seminario up on the front row for stage number 2. Joseph Kazi leads us down. And we're back to the green flag in Atlanta.
Seminario slides right into the bank, the bumper of Kazi, as everybody in the front gets strung out nice and early into that cool single file. A little bit further back, though, the 2x2 is still alive and well with Sammy Harrell next to Jeffrey Souza and Kevin Sosiak on the outside.
Man, there was some big blocking in the very back of the pack. Colby Jackson just about got put on the apron. But you're going to see, like you said, they're single filed up at the top 10 mostly. You're going to see, like you saw in the first run, you got to save tires. Get down to the bottom, just mind your P's and Q's. Don't slip a tire. Do not push. You got to have some tire on this thing for the last 10 laps of the run. And It might hurt you at first, right? Kazi bled positions. He fell back to 6th, 7th, 8th position and rebounded back to the lead and dominated the end of the stage. So save the tires.
Save those tires. Treat them like your firstborn.
I guess Jay's proven up in the chat that it was not a sarcastic comment because he's now cheering on the 41.
Love it. Good enthusiasm from the Grid Vision Peanut Gallery.
I was a little worried there, but Klotz still just fighting for the lucky dog right now. It's not by side for 6th though. Westwood down to the inside of. Couldn't quite tell who that was. Jordan Sailors it was, but couldn't get the move done. Sailors just sailed around on the outside, able to take the 6th place position. And now Zodiac's going to follow him through way up there. I mean, Westwood sit and duck on the bottom, but I really think that's where you want to be. Ooh. Unless you're that blue car that just went head on the wall. That's not where you want to be. Jeffrey Souza just took a tumble, and that's going to be a race ender.
Yeah, it is. We're still green, though. What an incredible smash. Jeffrey Souza losing part of his car for sure. Massive loss. Probably the quarter panel. Yep, gone completely. That's going to take him out of the race. It's going to be something of a miracle for him to get this thing back to the pits without running into anybody in the process. But he's fallen to the back now. I think he's going to be able to get that thing off.
I can't believe he stayed on the racetrack. The right front isn't working. Also, I can't believe we didn't get a yellow. Now he didn't go sideways, but man, that was the yellow that all the wave around guys really needed. Could not happen. Souza's still limping it around. As we're racing up towards the front, Kazi hanging on. Seminario still in 2nd. Sailors is the guy that's making moves though. He's gone up to 3rd.
I can't take my eyes off Jeffrey Souza right now, who is still driving like he's not going to get the car.
That's what I'm focused on my main monitor right now. Just paying attention, just seeing if he can get it down pit road. I think he's going to do it this time, though.
I've got my eyes split in 2 different directions. There we go. All right. Yeah, put it up. Phew.
Sailors to the lead. Look, Sailors going down to the inside, trying to take the race lead away from Joseph Kazi, and he does it with ease. Kazi not going to put up a fight. Sailors up to the clean air up front here. Lap 75, but Kazi back down to the inside, not willing to go just yet.
No, he's taking it right back. Ooh, very close, within about 6 inches of each other there, but not quite far enough for him to take that lead. The outside proving to be just too much of a momentum keeper as Jordan Sailors sails on by. Kazi now falling back 2 places behind David Salter.
Yep, Sailor's up to the lead. He's got the clean air now. Salter was fighting the tracks. Didn't really work for him in 3 and 4 there. Got in the dirty air, but we're going to get a look and see what happened to Souza. Babcock all over the back bumper down the front straightaway. Got on his right rear and, just turned. I mean, that was pretty cut and dry. I don't think it was intentional, but, man, he got offset on the bump draft.
Yeah, got him up there. I think that even though that was a single car crash, it was on the outside of the track, and I kind of would have expected a yellow for that, but wow. Single car crash, middle of the pack, fast enough and far enough out. We're good to go, says iRacing.
Never got fully sideways, though. Never got fully sideways.
That's true.
Salter, he's searching. Salter for the race lead. He's looking to the outside of Sailors through 1 and 2. Couldn't quite get the move done, but he's got the momentum down the back, looking down to the inside already. Not quite there, but he is hounding Jordan Sailors for this race lead. Lifts just a little earlier, trying to get the car settled on the top side of the racetrack. The Sailors goes a little lower. Salter gets clean air, but Sailors with a better line through the corner.
Yeah, Salter is definitely just trying to stay in the head of Sailors. He's making little moves left, little moves right, but his aggression is being carefully picked for the right moment, which I got to applaud in a situation like this. You've got the time, bide the time. Get inside the head of your opponent, make him drive his car a little too hard, and you'll be able to sail right on by.
Jordan Sailor still in the lead as we come off of turn number 4 once again, coming to lap number 80. It's about 77 laps to go as we hit the line that time by. Maybe 78. Salter down to the inside. Really late dive. Sailors trying to close it off down to 1. Almost contact between the 2. And they both wash out to the wall. I thought that was going to be a race ender for these guys, but able to hang on to it. Caleb Mitchell coming out of pit road. Gonna have to see where he cycles out. If he's on the lead, I imagine he's on the lead lap. He's got to be a lap down, right?
I think so. We checked on Caleb Mitchell. Caleb Mitchell is not a lap down, I believe.
He's 2 laps down.
Yes.
What in the world happened to Kalen?
Not sure. I haven't been keeping up with his progress during the race so far. Looks like Salter has fallen back a little bit from that challenge he had for Sailors. Not too much back.
Oh, Babcock's being aggressive. He just turned Sousa, and now he's dooring Feltman in the middle of 3 and 4. Takes a spot, but that was close.
Very close. Woof. Right on the bumper there. Babcock holding off Feltman. Feltman now on the outside. Comes back behind Babcock in the 99. Ooh, they're on the outside though. Here comes the 000 machine.
Oh, Feltman's trying to get there, man. Just barely getting the nose, but not quite down the front straightaway. Babcock gonna cover him off, and he's still in that side-by-side battle with Van Schack. Babcock being aggressive, trying to get himself one more spot.
Oh, loose. Very loose right now, Babcock. Keeps it straight, just barely. Loses the position, though, to Feltman. And he's going to potentially lose one, or he's got a lap car here on the outside.
Yeah, it's weird. Some cars, the waiver rounds are starting to come through. They pitted, came down pit road. A couple of these guys were far enough back to where they got lapped in extra time. And that's what we're seeing. A couple of these guys on newer tires coming through.
Still racing hard. The 16 with a bump and a potential turn. Babcock holding his position, not losing it though. That was very, very close. The 16 of Jake Hickson. Almost getting turned right there on Babcock's car. Hickson. Not passing for position right now.
Something tells me we're not going to make it too much longer.
You think so? You see one on the horizon, do you?
I do. I kind of do. We're starting to see some guys race pretty hard. And once we're down at the end of this run, whenever we're done with the tire saving, and we start seeing some guys push a little bit more, I don't know. I'm starting to see some aggression out of them that I didn't see in stage 1.
That's stage aggression. Let's see if we got some stats for that. Overall, who do you think is the most aggressive driver in the league right now?
Causey.
Well, the answer is actually Kenny Powell, who has 63 incidents.
Whew.
Followed by Chris Hudson, who's tied with him, and Greg Wachinski with 62.
Oh, there it is. There it is. The 42 into the outside wall. They're sideways. That's going to be a yellow. The 42 going backwards. Sammy Harrell against the outside wall.
Oh, wow.
Huge contact on the front straightaway. That's an ARCA break if I've ever seen one, and I hate to say it, but I think that's our buddy in the chat, Jay Salmon's best buddy, Daryl Klotz.
That is rough. And we got chastised in the chat for calling for that yellow that just happened.
I just felt it, man. I felt it. I could tell you it was coming. Now, I could not tell you this was coming.
Let's watch this pinball move here.
Holy crap. Oh, no, it was the other. Oh, it was Oaks. It was his other friend. Go figure. Go figure.
Oh, my goodness. Jeff Oaks.
Oh, no.
That is rough. Well, if anybody was going to get a lesson in physics tonight,
I don't
it's going
think
to
he
be
knew
us.
where the yellow was.
Nope, not at all. Let's watch this here.
Oh, no, he just saw the checkup. Oh, yeah, he never had a visual of it. That's tough if you're Jeff.
Yeah.
Jay's pissed. Jay's pissed. Look, I didn't tell Jeff to full throttle it into a wreck on the wall, all right, Jay? I don't mean to...
Yellow was out. You got to lift, buddy.
Yellow was out. I feel for Jeff. He was having a good run, though. He was fighting in the top 10 for most of the night. So that's not a good injury.
No. That's really unfortunate.
Oh.
Boom, boom. Yeah, he got checked hard.
It was a weird. Yeah, it was a weird scenario. If he might have just gotten skirted up there, with a little hit, skirted him, got him a little sideways. It was very heavy braking in front. I don't know if it needed to be that heavy braking, but you know, sometimes people overreact.
Here's a view from, I think, Kyle Gerlach. No, this is even Vincent.
Oh, this is Vincent.
Zoom, zoom.
It was supposed to be Gerlach.
There goes.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a deflection on the left rear there, and at that point, you're probably not turning it back left in time. Either way, tough break, but that was well, I was about to say the yellow that the wave arounds needed, but it was it was the yellow they needed to take the wave around again because they had already pitted. So all those guys that took the wave around, well, they're getting ready to do it again. Now they've only got 9 green flag laps on their tires, as opposed to what was going to be 30 or so on the last one. So a little bit better. They'll at least be able to stay in it. But they do probably need it to run about 15-20 laps before that caution flag flies, because I think they've only got everybody's only got one set of tires left, I believe. We had 4 behind pit wall. We took 2 in stage 1, including the one at the end, and then 1 just now for everybody. So yeah, one more set for everybody in the field.
Okay. 1 set left with about 60 some odd laps to go. It's been a hell of a race tonight. Good mix of green flag action and a few yellows in here. A couple exciting ones. Eyes on our race leader, I believe, right now, Joseph Causey. Yep. He's in the middle of the pack.
Lots of wave rounds. Lots of wave rounds.
Yeah.
Well, it looked like it was going to be a lot of wave rounds, but a couple people actually decided to come down pit road on that last go by. It looked like.
Yep. I said choosing this to get their last little bit of or getting set up. Oop. The lights are out in the pace car. This is going to be it.
Can't make it to the end from here, so one more set of tires, one more pit stop. Kind of maths out just about right. So when do you want to take those tires? I think you got to be the last one. Teammates playing a little bit of grab ass for the lead under caution.
I see that. I'm wondering when netcode's going to eventually ruin their day.
I would have liked it. I would have been fine with it. Either way, we're coming back up to the restart. Kazi and Johan back in the front row once again. Edward Schurrer Jr., Kevin Zosiak on the second row. Green flag backs out. Kazi back to the gas. And not a good start for Seminario. Schurrer Jr. to the inside. He's going to be able to take second.
Seminario falling back to third, unfortunately. Not a huge jump. But if we expect these guys to get strung back out again into that single file line, that's where he's going to be. He doesn't like being in third, though. He wants that second place position. He wants to get back up with his teammate or push him and his teammate across the line. He falls down to the inside, and that gives the 45 all he needs. Ed Schurrer Jr. to the outside and back in. He's in the lead.
I was curious on who was going to push it. There is a strategy where you just go balls out, right? You go 100% and hope to God that this thing runs green all the way through. You go 100% right off the bat, run 20 laps, come down pit road, be the first guy to take tires. You should have a pretty decent lead from running like an idiot at the beginning. And, well, after that, you just mind your P's and Q's and hope that it's better than everybody else. You should be in clean air. I wouldn't mind to see somebody try it, but right now, nobody's actually pulling away from the field. Sure, took the lead, but he ain't pulling away because Zosiak's on his outside, taking it back at the start-finish.
It's been a couple of quick lead changes here, all only within a lap or two of the race restarting. Zosiak on the outside still got that lead, but only by a barely half a car length.
The momentum takes him by on the outside. Coming down the back. Now Zodiac easily into the lead. He's going to stay committed to the outside groove here in 3 and 4. Stay up there. At least the middle, I should say. Kazi ran a little bit higher back there in 3rd. Some harder racing right behind him. Van Schack. Sorry, no, not Van Schack. Sailors to the outside of Seminario. A little bit of contact between those two for 4th as we dive into turn number 1. And somebody has made a recovery. Scott Healy up to 6.
Wow, yeah, quite the recovery. That yellow really did wonders for Healy, and the waving around, I'm guessing, too. Oh, he makes it up into 5th now.
Well, Healy didn't have to wave around. He was like the second to last car on the lead lap on the first caution, so he was just about to go a lap down. He got lucky, and that's the difference, right? A guy like Levine has been stuck on the wave arounds, hasn't been able to make any ground. Healy, 2 cars from going a lap down. He is now up into the top 5 to the outside of Joseph Ghazi for 4th.
Here we go. The 55 Jordan Sailor is in 2nd place now. He's only 2/10 behind the leader. A lot of close racing happening. The cars at the beginning, the first 10 or so cars are all within a 1/10 of each other. Not even the first 10 or so cars, really the first like 15 or so cars in this race are all within about a 1/10 of each other. It's an incredibly tight race.
Everybody from 3rd on back, just stuck under a blanket. The front 2 starting to drive away. They're just pushing, man. Jordan Sailors to the inside for the race lead. Zodiac still in the preferred outside groove. Still side by side off the corner. The momentum not quite pulling Zodiac clear. Sailors doesn't really go for a side draft either, but he's going to stay side by side down the front. And again, down into turn number 1, Zodiac way up the racetrack.
Whoa.
And that's going to give the lead over to Sailors. I'm in the lead, switching hands like a game of hot potato.
That's a good analogy right there. And Sailors, what an incredible exit on that turn. Just like a rocket. Absolutely getting down early on the gas, getting ahead of the other cars on the field. He's willing to put the back of that car around just a little bit. Just a little bit. To get that extra little burst of speed.
Oh, Mark Sanchez into the wall from 3rd place. He got a little loose entering turn number 1. Found the fence. Still hangs on to 3rd, though. But the top 3, those are guys that are all just pushing hard right now. All of them just fighting to put as much distance between themselves and the pack as possible. And I got to think these guys might be doing that strategy that I was talking about. Just run as hard as possible until the pit window opens. About the 2nd or 3rd lap that the pit window's open, come down, take the gas you need to get to the finish, and manage those tires from there. I'm liking this strategy from guys like Sailor, Zodiac, Sanchez, because these guys weren't going to win the race otherwise. They were not going to win the race. Do something different from the rest of the pack.
That's exactly what we're seeing here so far. Sailor's out ahead. He's on 4 fresh tires. Most of these guys are. It looks like maybe Ed Shearer Jr. didn't take tires?
He definitely took tires. There's no way
Okay,
he
I
didn't.
saw a pit time of only 6.5 seconds there.
He would not be able to hang on to where he is at right now, if that is legitimate.
It's
So I
hard to
just
say.
don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I initially don't believe it either. But that's all I got is the numbers in front of me. So however he's holding on, it's darn near a miracle.
Has Seminario dropped 2? Yeah, okay, well, because Seminario had the same tie on his as well, so I can't believe. Oh, excuse me, Feltman into the fence. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Edward Scher Jr., Johan Seminario, and Joseph Kazi didn't take tires. They still have 2 sets. I don't know why they would. Oh, that's a risk. That's a risk for guys that were probably going to win this race regardless.
Right, we're seeing the risk pay off right now as Kazi's down 5 positions. Seminario is still up 21, but he's been slipping considering where he started after this restart.
I was about to say, I wouldn't call that paying off. Risk is not paying off right now.
I meant from where he started in the beginning of the race. But
well, yeah, but since the risk, he's dropping. He's dropping like a rock.
True.
He's got 2 sets of tires, but I don't think that's going to matter. It's like, yeah, if a green white checkered happens, you can come and take tires, but there's 25 cars on the lead lap. You're going to be so far back. I don't like the call. We're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a step aside here on Grid Vision. Whenever we come back, we're going to try to take this thing to the checkered flag. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Spartans Masters Series here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Kevin Zosiak just now passing Jordan Sailors for the race lead. And, well, as Sailor's starting to struggle on his tires, the guys that didn't take them, they are struggling mightily. Scherer Jr., Seminario, and Joseph Ghazi. They're just going backwards, man. Continuing to drop through this field. They've actually, they're about to be overtaken by their teammate who's been playing the wave around game all day. Even though he restarted with 10-lap older tires than the rest of the field, these guys didn't take tires, so Justin has better rubber on than them. And he's getting ready to pass them.
Well, that is an incredible turn of change. What's the word I'm looking for? A change of fortune. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. We've seen the leaders fall several times in this race already. Joseph Kazi wasn't even the original leader of this race. It was Chris Hudson who was up at the lead for the pole position, but then we had a couple other people up there. PB Henry was in the lead briefly. Scott Healy has worked his way back to a 7th position, and then Kazi and Seminario. It's been a wild race from the lead position.
Oh, this strategy play is just, it's got me questioning things. I'm scratching my noggin here, and I know it could still work out for him, but man, it is not looking good. They need a caution, and they need it basically now for it to do anything for them.
I was going to say, for it to work out for them, it better start working out pretty darn soon, because the strategy without a yellow is going to be keep driving.
We're getting asked to
Fourth.
check on Daryl Klotz in the number 41.
Let's see.
So Daryl Klotz, let's see. Running back in the 23rd place position. Daryl
Klotz,
Klotz
Cam.
is the third car, one lap down. But they're racing so hard in front of them, I could definitely see them wrecking right in front in the 41, just piling right in.
Oh man, yeah, he's in it. Got a nice position though in the middle groove.
Just trying to break Jay's heart really bad. I'm trying the announcer drinks as hard as possible.
The more we
Come
talk
on,
about,
Jarrett. I know you want to turn Kenny. Thought about it. He thought about it.
you're gonna give him the Klotz curse if you're not careful.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying to not be careful. That's the whole point.
And it sounds like some of the lapped drivers are starting to cause a little bit of trouble for some of the guys on the lead lap. As they race hard also, just as hard. Getting mixed in very, very tightly.
Hey, if you're racing for the lucky dog, it is what it is, right? If you're, you know, a guy like Timothy Babcock, Kenny Powell, you know, these guys, the front couple guys racing for the lucky dog, you know, they're racing for everything right now.
Yeah.
If it's one of the guys a little bit further back, I can understand being a little more upset with one of the lap guys. I'm sorry, Jay. I didn't realize that was family. Maybe he'll go head on into the wall instead.
You demon. I'm gonna have to remember that one.
That is a good one. I like it. You demon.
You've earned it.
That's I mean, that's a heavy one, man. You're calling somebody a demon.
You've earned it. You've earned it tonight with your talk about. it's
Come
all your
on,
turn
come
to
on,
talk
man.
about Klotz.
No, never. Look at Healy, man. Scott Healy. Scott Healy's gotten up to the freaking race lead. What a recovery, man. The two tires looked like a foolish strategy. And, well, you know what? It was. But, man, he's recovered from it.
Bounced right back. We're going to go back a second, I think. We're going to look at Kalen Mitchell, who ran off track here briefly. Zoom. The pit lane's a little sooner there, Kalen.
Yeah, that was a pit entry, I guess.
Guess you really had to use the bathroom.
I mean,
I would just wait the
enough.
next lap.
Fair
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you could have definitely just missed it. But, hey, maybe Kalen was calling it quits. His night was pretty much over. I think he was 2 laps down. He was having a bit of a rough go at it tonight. So I think he
Yeah.
was calling an early one. That's the goal, Jay. That's the goal.
Yeah, we don't want to get Jay in trouble.
No. We're trying to jinx Daryl now so that Jay does get in trouble.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. There's a difference.
Sailor's on the inside, I think. Out west. Westwood on the inside, excuse me.
Kyle Westwood still to the inside of Sailors here, coming out of turn number 2. These guys fighting for the 6th place spot. Sorry, what am I looking at? These guys fighting for 8.
Yes.
Oh, 7. I'm okay. It's 7.
7th. I was going to say
I might be
something, but
dyslexic.
I was going
Oh
to say
my
something,
gosh.
but wanted to let you have that one after you corrected it to 8.
Yeah, I deserved that one. I deserved that.
That's all right. And Healy is out there now with a full second and change on Kevin Zosiak. Zosiak is comfortably about 1/10 off Robert Besaw. That's not comfortably, excuse me. I was thinking of somebody else entirely. And here comes Mark Sanchez. Besaw hits the pits.
Besaw Jr., that's too fast. That's too fast. That's a speeding penalty for sure for Besaw.
Unladylike.
There you go.
Got a few other pitters here, Causey and Seminario. A couple of our guys, and Ed Shearer. Those are 3 of our guys who are on the 6-second pit times.
I said to enter pit road like a lady, not a stripper.
Hey, they work hard for the money.
A little too hard, I guess.
A little bit of action
down the pit
let's
road.
catch up with. Here's Mark Sanchez. He was in 7th. Or he is in 7th now, excuse me.
Ooh, PB Henry. Holy cow, what a pit entry. I don't know if he got it down in time. B-Saw did have a penalty. I'm watching PB. Left sides are about to go down, just making sure he didn't get a penalty. He did. He is still stationary in the box. So PB Henry got a penalty for that pit entry. Stripper entry, bad. Lady entry, good. PB just got it wrong.
Yep. Very easy to do. And in this case, that looks like my pick for the race is going to have a bit of a hard time climbing his way back out with only 31 laps to go.
And here comes the leader, Scott Healy. Doing what you should, get the newest tires. Out of everybody that you're racing, since he was in the lead, kind of affords himself that opportunity to decide when to come down pit road. With 31 laps to go, probably as good of a time as any to come down. Should have plenty of time to pass the guys that probably skip over him on the pit cycle with the newer tires.
Healy's back out, leaving pit road, and he is going to be back on the track any second now.
Oh, you better be careful with that white line there, Healy.
Yeah,
you don't want to be too
crossed
close
it.
to that thing. I've learned my lesson here at Atlanta. Old Atlanta was it was a strict one about it. I don't know if they fixed it, but man, it used to be strict back in the day. Healy coming out. He's going to be about 7th, I believe. Or sorry, it's I suppose, yeah,
It's where he's sitting
about
right
7th.
now.
Yeah, he's 7th. It's our ticker's a little slow to update, it seems, but Levine is the guy right in front of him on older tires. But if a caution comes out, man, well, no, never mind. We've taken our last set for guys like Levine and Hudson, Healy. I guess Healy's got 2 left, but guys like Levine, he's taking his last set, and it's older than most of the field. He's just kind of got what he's got for the rest of the race, hanging on. But guys like Healy are going to blow his doors off in a couple laps.
Ended up at the front. The last 4 guys who were the previous leads of the race have all pit, so things are shuffling back around again. Justin Levine looks like he's going to be taking the lead any second now.
Even on a terrible night, he somehow managed to find a way to get a bonus point for leading the lap. Our ticker's a little broken, so we're going to give a little reset to that here in a moment. But I can assure you, Levine is now the leader at the line that time by. Oh, never mind. I can't assure you that. Somebody's still on the racetrack. Kyle Westwood. Kyle Westwood is the guy that had just come down pit road. So Levine passed him. So hasn't led the lap yet, but if he can hang on this time, he'll have that bonus point.
And I think he'll be able to. Healy is right behind him. I mean, it could be by the end of the lap they're nose to nose, but I don't think that's going to be the case here as we're coming down.
Ooh, coming to the line. Levine's going to get the bonus point, but he's definitely not going to hang on to the lead. Healy with the newer tires, way newer tires, just going to blow his doors off. It's all about for Levine. How much can you hang on to over the course of the last 27? Because here, off of turn number 2, Scott Healy's going to look to the inside. And if a caution flag doesn't fly, I got to think this is the pass for the win right here. Scott Healy down to the inside. Levine's trying to hold him tight, but it's just not going to be able to be enough. As he slides ever so slightly on the exit, it's actually enough to stay there. I can't believe it for Levine at this point that he's able to hang on. Side by side to the line. Levine still the leader by 5 thousandths. But Healy fighting back, trying to take it and trying to take it for good.
He's using that middle groove momentum that we've seen all night long, and it's paying off for Justin Levine. He is staying competitive as hell with Scott Healy. Healy and him nose to nose, trading first place back and forth. But every time he gets into that middle groove, by the time that they're on the exit, Levine is back on the bumper or even in the quarter panel. Right now, he's a little bit further behind, though. Looks like he might have lost a little bit of that momentum.
got Healy back up to the race lead. He just took it from Levine. Levine put up the fight that he could on the older tires, but at the end of the day, just did not have enough grip in that right rear through 3 and 4 there. Levine just a little squirrely, just a little twitchy, getting out of the corner. Healy just able to drive it in deeper and put the pedal back down, get himself that lead easily at the end of the day through 3 and 4 for Healy.
Let's see where things take him from here. 2/10 ahead of Justin Levine. Healy is looking pretty, sitting pretty. That's the term I think I was looking for. Sitting pretty, looking at the last part of the race here. We know how things have been going. If you get out in the lead and you can hold it, things have been pretty solid. But you know what? With someone challenging you like that, we've seen the lead change hands several times. So things can still happen out here. There is still a chance for Justin Levine to get back in this game.
I appreciate the optimism, but I'm going to go ahead and say no.
That's fair.
He ain't got any tires
I'm ever
left.
the optimist.
He ain't got any tires left. He's got 8 lap older tires than Scott. He's done. He's done. Nah, he doesn't have a set left.
Yeah, the 8 laps older tires is going to be something.
Maybe he don't. He took one wave around, but maybe he does have one set left. He took 2 waves. I know one of those he pit beforehand that would have cost him the set of tires. Yeah, he might have one set remaining. You might be right about that, Mr. Producer Darby. He's going to be praying for a caution. If he has a set, he's hoping the caution comes out soon, because a lot of these guys don't.
Yeah, that's true. They're all out.
Johan looking to the inside of his teammate. These guys fight for 4th. Oh, tight between the two. Really tight coming off of turn number 2. Johan a little slippery coming off the corner. You can see the back end step out ever so slightly. He just has to give way. Joseph able to hang on to the spot for now. And Kazi's not going to give him the top side of the racetrack. He's not going to let him get to the right rear if he has any say-so about it. But Johan is still fighting down to the inside on his teammate.
I love watching teammates race. It's usually very close, very aggressive racing. They know each other very well. They know how far the limits are. They can push each other, and ultimately it's going to make both cars faster.
Johan going down on his teammate to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to take the spot. Not able to do it again. I thought he could have gotten clear off of turn 2 that time. Not able to do it. Instead, Kazi clears him once again into 3, cuts the nose off, and gives him a dirty dose of, well, not so clean air back there through the exit of turn number 4. You can see Sailors pushing it out of turn number 4, but able to hang on to it. He's running in 7th currently.
And it sounds like Sailors may have had a meeting with the wall recently. Bouncing off 4 there a little bit. Still holding on to 7th place.
Jorgensen way to the outside as the 4 down to the white line, trying to move himself a little bit further up. Chuck Burley making the move. Jorgensen is a little bit off the pace, though, I gotta say. He's just 1 lap down, running in 18th, but Burley getting by, but not for position.
In terms of racing for position right now, Healy out front, Justin Levine in the back. Right behind
there's about to
Levine
be
is
some.
Chris Hudson.
Levine's struggling. He's got the older tires, and they're really starting to show now. Hudson to the outside. It's going to be an easy pass for the 43. Chris Hudson going to get himself up into 2nd immediately. Levine with nothing happening on the bottom side of the racetrack. He's just going to be gobbled up and spit out time and time again. The good news is, after Kazi, Johan, and Jake here, there's a decent gap to the next pack of cars. But as soon as the packs catch them, it's going to be quick that they chew them up and spit them out.
As we see it starting to happen here, Justin Levine falls back a little further and a little further. Still up 30 places, but starting to fall out of the places that matter.
I can't see the full question there. I imagine that's about Daryl Klotz. Let me pull up my YouTube. Oh, only, mostly. Oh, we're wrecking on the front straightaway. Chris Hudson is against the fence, head on into the wall, across the start finish line.
Oh no. That's it's a nice late yellow though.
No! He slowed up for a car coming to pit road, and Kazi ran him over.
Well, let's see if we can get a replay on that in a few moments here.
He got a little loose, actually. I think it was a reaction to a slow car, and Kazi couldn't get it up in time. Johan also couldn't, and man, he did about 2 or 3 pirouettes there before he finally cracked it against the outside wall. Luckily, not a lot of damage, but if he doesn't have another set of tires with that spin, it's going to be a tough ask to recover from that if you're Chris Hudson. Now, the guys that still have a set of tires, I'm looking at maybe Levine. The rest of the one sim guys, I guess they're looking smart now. Maybe there'll be 10 laps to go on the restart. Is that enough time for these guys to get through the pack with only 13 cars on the lead lap? Maybe.
Stranger things have happened.
How did only 13 cars? Why do we only have 13 on the lead lap? Did that many people have issues coming to pit road? Holy cow.
That is a very low number for how many people are in this race.
Well, I was scratching my head beforehand, but they look smart now. Yep, 8, 9 laps to go. Heck, Scott Healy had a whole nother set? What? When did Healy save the set? Did he take?
I didn't notice.
Okay, I guess he didn't take tires at all at the during stage 1. I thought he took 2, but I guess he was in the box that long for just gas, because he put on a whole nother set of tires right there, and he had it. So never mind. Healy's looking like a genius, I guess, for that stage 1 move. Holy cow. God, I love racing, man. Even whenever you don't know what's going on, it just all molds together at the end to somehow paint a perfect picture to where we're gonna get a pretty crazy finish to this. Slow cars up at the front on old tires with the fastest guys of the night coming through the pack. Oh.
It's exciting stuff. I love a good yellow flag sometimes. You get a lot of jokes, eye pacing, it's so slow. But you know what? Sometimes these yellow flags, they change the whole game. And they make the end of the race really exciting. So I'm kind of excited to see where things go.
Just interested to see how the strategies all come together here. It's interesting. It happened to be off the nose of one of the one sim guys, and then they got the sets of tires left. So they ended up getting lucky with it. It's not like it was, it's not like it's an intentional wreck or anything, but obviously Hudson just slowing up for the car that's coming to pit road. It caught him out, got him loose after he slammed on the binders, and obviously Kazi and Johan were full throttle coming out of the corner. Terrible time for that to happen. I imagine there wasn't a call out for coming to pit road, or else Hudson wouldn't have been on the bottom anyway. So just unfortunately a big smorgasbord of issues, I suppose, coming out of turn number 4, kind of leading to our yellow flag here that has bunched up the field once again. And like I said, we got a lot of different strategies. Top 8 old tires, everybody 9th on back. They had an extra set and they came down.
Let's see, we're going to be ready to turn the light off here in a minute or two.
Imagine we'll get the one to go this time, so we're going to have 11 laps to go as we cross the stripe, and then the pace car will pull off, and we'll come to 10 to go. So 10 lap shootout to the end if we can stay green. They did give him a 1-2.
I think
that was
we
a
might be
knockout
able
punch.
to. Based on our last few restarts, I think we might be able to keep it green.
Well, this is where it matters the most, though. When we got 8 people on old rubber with a couple hot heads coming through on fresh stuff, I'm nervous. We got 5 guys coming through on new tires. Scott Healy, Joseph Kazi, Justin Levine, Johan Seminario, Edward Schur Jr. all coming through. Tom Ringer also pitted. I don't know if he took tires. He was the lucky dog. I don't know if he had tires to take. He did. So Tom Ringer, it's going to be 5, but he had the wave around, I believe. So he's going to be last car of the pack. It's going to be tough for him. But the other 5 They're the ones you got to watch out for.
Well, let's see who's watching out for them right now on the track as we get ready to finish things up.
They're definitely on a 146 lap stint. I don't know what our YouTube guy's talking about. We've definitely been on the same tire since the start of the race. Coming to 10 laps to go, the iRacing pace car is getting ready to pull off. Jake Hickson coming up to the restart zone. Will this be for the final time tonight? The green flag is flying. 10 laps to go. Who's it gonna be? Zosiak just about loses it on the restart. All the way to the top side, 3 wide per second right off the back.
Great restart for some folks. Not exactly from Zosiak, unfortunately. We see what happens here. He falls to the outside. A few other on the outside. Ooh, wall
Kazi's
contact.
got him another one. Kazi has just turned somebody in the middle of the field. Oh, and he gets collected heavier. What did I say in the pre-race? What did I say? Oh, Colby Jackson, Robert Besaw, they're still wrecking. Coming back up the racetrack. Oh, big hit. Hit the brakes. Hit the brakes, guys. What are we doing? Hit the brakes.
Checker direct.
The yellow's not out. The
It
yellow's
is
not
out.
out. Never, okay, I'm stupid. Jake Hickson
got
was
a yellow.
flying. Jake Hickson was flying, I thought, for sure. I was like, there's that could only, in my mind, that was the only explanation of why we were still hitting people that late.
Yeah.
Like, why in the world?
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to a little more about that accident right now. We may not get a why in the world, but let's have a look at it.
I hit the brakes. And I'm about to roast Kazi here. Run him over. I mean, goodness gracious, didn't even give him a chance. And I said in the pre-race, I said Kazi is the guy that's got the speed, he's got the talent, but he's going to make one big mistake that's just going to cost him this thing. And I said he was checkers or wreckers, and well, got proven again. 21 came flying in. That was just really, really late. Holy cow. Colby Jackson doing some burnouts, maybe getting stuck here with the banking.
Yeah. Can't turn the car now. He's got to wait till he can back up.
Goodness gracious.
Yikes. Looks like David Salter's rooting for teammate number 15. Let's go. That's Kevin Zosiak.
Oh boy. Well, I figured somebody on new tires was going to run over somebody. I just didn't expect it to be that early and that straightforward. I mean, you know, I thought it would be like a little, like just nicking them with the left front or the right front and sending them around. Not just, I mean, bump drafting them through the exit of turn 2, Joseph.
Well, that's the way it goes. You get a little too close in, and then everything contracts into one point.
So it was not the last restart. We're gonna have at least one more, but you know, the main guy that's smiling ear to ear about this is Jake Hickson. If that thing ran green, a guy on tires is getting to you. He needs probably one more yellow, and then the green white checker to just go green, and I think he's got a chance. Honestly, Johnny, I think that's a safe bet. I don't know if I don't know if Kazi has a brake pedal either.
I was trying to figure out if you're calling me Johnny or calling him Johnny for a second.
Oh, the guy in chat named Johnny.
Oh, that's, I didn't even look up there. Awesome. I think, oh, yeah, okay. I think you're
That
right.
would explain why I called somebody Johnny. Just a little bit.
You know what? You're just such a demon that I just can't predict your behavior.
That's fair. That's fine.
Unpredictable.
41 is the first car lap down now, by the way, Jay. So if another wreck happens, he's right there to take advantage. You get back on the lead lap. First car lap down, P16, Jay. So who do you think it's going to be, Joe? Do you think it's going to be a guy on older stuff? Do you think one of these guys like Scott, Edward, Justin, Johan on the newer stuff is going to come through?
Oh, with only 5 laps, with only 6 laps to go, the lights aren't. Well, the lights just turned off. With 5 laps to go, I'm going to give it to Scott Healy. I think the new tires are going to come into play.
I think it's a good pick. If we run green, I agree it's going to be a guy on tires. If we run green for all 5 laps go green, I think for sure a new tire guy comes through here and wins this thing.
Correct.
If we get another caution early and then just a 2-lap dash, they still definitely could get there, but man, they're going to have to get through this traffic very quickly to be able to do it. It's just, would you rather be on the inside like Scott Healy right now or on the outside like Edward Scherer Jr. in that 4th row on the new tires?
Outside.
I'd probably pick the outside, and that's where Ed's sitting.
I want the outside because I want as much clear running as I possibly can get. I don't need the geometry on this track right now. I need raw, straight line speed. And that's where the defense is going to come from, too.
We're going to have to wait and see if that pays off. Can we get the big run on the top side of the racetrack for any of these guys on tires, or do they find a different way around? Can they somehow find a hole down on the bottom side of the racetrack? We're going to have to wait and see for guys like Scott Healy, Justin Levine stuck down on the bottom. Come back up to the restart, though. 5 laps to go. It's Jake Hickson and Jordan Sailors on the front row. Back to the green flag, and we're racing once again, and we're wrecking once again on the front straightaway. Jordan Sailors goes to the grass. We're going to stay green. 1 less car to get through for the guys on tires as Ed way up to the top of the racetrack, and Healy finds some room on the bottom. Oh, Healy loose. Healy almost making it out of turn number 2. He hangs on to it. He's going to stay in the 5th place spot, but he's lost a ton of ground to Ed. That's over the wrecking further back.
Cold tires. Oh, not anymore.
I don't know if Ed is... Oh, Van Schack around. Oh my goodness, I think Edward Scherer Jr. is in 3rd, and that is huge for him because he's on new tires. He's going to be starting in the lane that the leader's restarting in.
Oh, yeah.
Massive for Ed. Not massive for Jordan. I mean, just got... we'll have to watch to see exactly what happened. Obviously, Feltman down to the inside. Sailors on the outside. Feltman gives a tab. Sailors comes down. Honestly, Feltman came up a little bit, but Sailors came down more, I'd say, with the tire spin. And unfortunately, it just does doesn't do too much damage, right? Only 15 cars in the lead lap, so Sailors not going to lose too much time, but it really hurts going from 2nd or 3rd to 15th as they, wrecked again down the back straightaway. Van Schack with a heavy hit. Westwood repeatedly banging into the wall. Jeffrey Oaks just another terrible restart. Unfortunately for Daryl Klotz, Mr. J, he was not in the lucky dog spot. He had dropped 2 spots on the restart, so even Jay in chat's not going to get his lucky dog he needed.
Looks like David Salter's asking the first car with the newest tires, and that would have to be Edward Scherer Jr. Pardon me.
And starting with the leader is huge. Him starting in the same row as the leader is massive. I was saying, the 2-lap dash could help for Hickson beforehand, but that was with the assumption that, the new tires were not going to be right on his back bumper.
Yeah.
With Ed starting right on him, oof, good luck, man. Good luck, Jake.
Like, kind of, without that enough lead-up time, that kind of takes my Scott Haley prediction out of play a little bit. But Ed Scherer Jr. with the new tires, I think you might be onto something there.
You never know. If Ed gets held up any little bit coming out of turn number 2 or down into 3, Healy is starting in 5th, so he'll be right on Ed's back bumper. He can follow him through and maybe find a hole. And it's not over for Healy yet, but Ed is definitely in the driver's seat. Jake Hickson up 40 spots, man. He started 41st up to 1st, so as long as he doesn't wreck, this is a hell of a night for him so far.
What a hard charger.
And no Jay. Jay, he did not get the lucky dog. He dropped 2 spots before the yellow, unfortunately, so Daryl's running 18th.
Damn shame.
Still 2 laps to green, my goodness. But we do have a potential for 3 green-white checkers here tonight.
I was going to say, oh, they got 3? Okay. No ARCA.
Hopefully we won't have to use them all.
Still 3 to go. going to have that sprint for the finish, I think. This next one around will probably be the one to go.
Go to the field to kind of highlight some of the guys' nights. Like we said, Jake Hickson up from 41st up to first. I mean, heck of a night so far. Even if he just holds on to second or third, what a recovery for Jake after starting at the back of the pack. Zosiak out there, man, he had a bad restart a couple times ago, and he finds himself right back into second place with, you know, at least a chance to get a good top 5 here. Great night for Kevin. Ed has somehow found himself with a chance to win this thing, and he has not shown race-winning pace all night, but he is the man in the driver's seat there in P3 on the newest tires. Chris Hudson, he was the guy that brought out the caution that bunched everybody up together again at the very end of this thing before, you know, the string of yellows. And well, he's sitting in P4 just because he didn't have any tires to take, and he's just been hanging on. So, a heck of a job from Hudson just hanging on after that wreck, because I thought for sure he would be done and dusted after just, I mean, doing 360s on the front straightaway. And then, of course, that third row, I would say probably the last row where you would think maybe the winner comes from here. And that would be Scott Healy and Justin Levine there on the outside. Maybe you could give Seminario an 8th shot, but with 2 laps to go, it's going to be so hard for even that third row to be able to get side by side for the lead.
Yeah, all eyes are on Ed Shearer Jr. right now, for sure. For sure. See what I did there? I'll be here all night. Be here all week, folks. Be sure to tip your waitress and please try their veal.
Coming up to the first green white checker. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be a guy on old tires? Is it going to be a guy on newer tires? Ed's hoping for the latter. Coming up to the restart zone for the green white checkered. Hickson back to the gas, back to the green flag. It's a decent start for sure. He's going to be side by side for second, and he'll easily take that down into turn number 1. But what does Healy do right behind?
Healy is staying right, tucked in a little bit. He's riding that momentum on the inside line. Shearer down to put it too wide now.
Side by side for the race win down the back straightaway. It's going to be no contest. Shearer's just going to drive right by him. And Healy is trying to do the same on the bottom. Hickson coming down tight with Healy. Gonna slow him up. Some people with penalties. Johan pulling off down to pit road. White flag waving. 1 lap to go for Ed Shearer Jr. down into turn number 1. Side by side for second. Healy fighting with a guy on older tires and just can't quite get by. But here out of turn number 2, he does it. And he's got 1 shot. Coming down to turn number 3 as Levine clips the fence, coming out of 2. Coming down to turn number 3. Can Scott Healy do anything with Ed Shearer Jr.? Ed drives it in super deep into turn number 3, washes up the racetrack. Scott Healy trying to get the run off the corner, but it's not going to be enough. It's Ed Shearer Jr. to win in Atlanta.
What a finish. Great restart. Very exciting stuff from everybody here tonight on SSRL.
Ooh. Good racing, good, clean, hard racing from the entire front of the field there at the end of that one. There was some argy-bargy a little bit further back, but man, Ed did a great job getting through there. Scott, credit to him for not doing anything desperate down into turn number 3. Thought maybe he could have gone for a bump and run, but he decided to go for the speed on exit. Just couldn't quite get enough, or get on the throttle early enough, and it ended up being Ed Shearer Jr., who came off of turn number 4 and to the checkered flag to pick up his first to win here in the Spartans Masters Series. And what a win it was for Ed Shearer Jr. We didn't think he was going to be here all night until the very end. And well, he definitely proved us wrong.
He really did. What a finish. Every congratulation earned for Ed Shearer Jr.
Ed does his victory celebration. We're going to go ahead and jump through the full field rundown here from the Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Spartans Master Series. Well, if you couldn't figure it out already, Edward Shearer Jr. is the guy that takes home the checkered flag here tonight. Scott Healy up on the podium with Jake Hickson as well. Great job from Jake to hang on to the podium on the older tires. Justin Levine rebounds to 4th. Kevin Zosiak ends up in the top 5 with Tom Ringer, Chris Hudson, Chuck Burley, Jordan Sailors, and Mark Sanchez rounding out the top 10.
All right, moving on to 11th place, we've got Chris Vinson, 12th, Corey Moore, 13th, Johan Seminario, 14th, Joseph Kazi, 15th, Jarrett Feltman, 16th, Dakota Jorgensen, 17th, Evan Ethel, 18th, Art Nicotera, 19th, Daryl Klotz, and 20th, Sammy Harrell.
21st was Kyle Westwood with Charles Van Schack finishing in 22nd. PB Henry, Charles Abbott, and Devin Maines round out the top 25 with Lou Christian, James Staples, Kenny Powell, Kevin Fontaine, and Kyle Fontaine, and Robert Besaw Jr. rounding out the top 30.
After that, Kyle Gerlach in 31st, Timothy Babcock Timothy Babcock in 32nd. 33rd, it's Todd Parent. 34th, Chad Johnson. 35th, Colby Jackson. 36th, Wesley Woods. 37th, Cody Curran. 38th, Jeffrey Oakes. 39th, Kalen Mitchell. And 40th, Dave Fuge Jr.
David Salter, Jeffrey Souza, and Scott Schroeder round out the 43-car field here tonight from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And well, we're going to try to get in touch with our top 3 finishers here. We're going to have to do some searching and find Jake Hickson, our 3rd place finisher, and move him up to the broadcast booth. If I can, what in the world is going on? I'm trying to get him, I promise. And now we've got our 3rd place finisher, Jake Hickson, up to the broadcast booth. Jake, do you have a copy?
Yeah, loud and clear. How you doing?
Pretty good, man, but not as good as you, because you came from 41st up to the lead by the end of this thing. Played a little bit of strategy at the end of there, not taking or not having tires at the end and getting yourself up there. But man, you had a real fighting chance at the end of this thing. Did you think that was possible?
Not from the top of the green flag. I never thought I had this opportunity, so I was just happy to be up there in the front and actually leading a few laps. So I definitely did not think this night was going to play out like this. I mean, I hit the wall on my 2nd lap of qualifying, so that's why I got back there in 41st place. But yeah, what a race! This was wild.
Yeah, it absolutely kicked off at the end of it, and I thought it was playing into your hands, getting us down to a green-white checkered, but unfortunately for you, one of the new tires got up to that 2nd row, and you didn't have that buffer between you. Do you think that if you had maybe Ed on row 3 with Scott also, and it was just a bunch of old tire guys on the first 2 rows, that you would have been able to maybe hang on to this thing and bring it home with a checkered flag instead?
Yeah, I really do. I think if I had at least one more row between us, that would have given me an edge to maybe just edge them out, right, for the last 2 laps there. So, I do think I could have held them off, but that's the way these races play out, right? They got the fresh tires and made the position. So, no, it was, once again, I was just happy to be up here after, starting 41st. So it was still a lot of fun.
Well, Jake, congratulations on the top 3 finish. Like you said, a heck of a recovery drive coming from 41st. Do you have anybody to thank at the end of this one?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my wife and for letting me do this, and Brandon, my spotter. He did a great job up there helping me out, and to you guys, the broadcast booth. Thank you so much for what you guys do. It's always fun to rewatch these things. You guys do a great job.
Well, thank you, Jake. We appreciate that. And like I said, congratulations on your P3, man. That's a heck of a finish tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much. Y'all have a great night.
You too, Jake. That was our 3rd place finisher of Jake Hickson, and that was a heck of an interview too. Big congratulations to Jake. Seems like a pretty swell guy. But next up, we're going to be able to pull up our 2nd place finisher, and Joe LaCastro is going to get to talk to Scott Healy.
You got it. Scott Healy, how are you tonight?
I don't even know, man. I'm all over the place right now.
Yeah, I bet. You were all over the place, too. You started in 2nd place. You fell back a little bit. You moved all the way back up to 2nd. That restart you had in 5th, you were in a great position, or in 4th. Tell us a little bit about the middle of the race, so where things were starting to fall off for you. What turned it around for you?
Just when I went into the pits, I didn't take tires. I just wanted to save an extra set just for later on. That's why I fell all the way back. But I knew I had the car tonight. It sucks that things just don't go your way. I thought I had this one until that last caution came out before that cluster show at the end. So shout out to Edward. Amazing job getting that win tonight. And that's really it, man.
All right. Well, if that's it from there, is there anybody that you'd like to thank?
Friends, family, my girlfriend, you guys put on a broadcast, everyone who puts this race together, and yeah, that's really it. It's just, like I said, man, it's unreal. I'm kind of upset, but at the same time, I can't go wrong with P2. I could have been wrecked, so yeah, I'll take it.
Well, absolutely great job with the silver medal. We're looking forward to seeing some more great work out of you later on in this series, and congratulations on 2nd place.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right, that was
Alrighty,
Scott
that
Healy. I'm
was-
going to pass it back to you.
My bad, Joe. I didn't mean to step on your toes there.
That's all right.
Excuse me, though. We are going to pull up now our race winner, and I can't believe I'm saying that after the course of the night, over the course of the first 140 laps, I didn't think there was any chance in hell Edward Scherer Jr. was going to end up on the top step of the podium. But, well, I guess there was a chance in hell, and now I am there because Edward Scherer Jr. is on the top step of the podium. Ed, how the hell did you do it?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't even know how the hell we even won this thing or even got top 3, to be honest with you. But, I mean, we were just there at the right time, I feel like, and it just helped out. I mean, we avoided that one big wreck and then had the fresher tires compared to some of those other guys and just took advantage of it on that last restart. I was going to give it hell or just leave it in the wall, but, I mean, I ended up prevailing somehow.
What did you think your peak on the night was going to be? You know, midway through this race, you kind of know what your pace is. Where were you eyeballing to finish? What was your goal through the middle of the race?
Top 10 was the goal, but after, like, I would say, like, the first run, I felt like we had a good top 5 piece, maybe. I felt like Johan and Kazi had really good cars, and it was hard to beat them on the long run. I felt like I was close on the short run, but they were just really good on the long run compared to me. I was having a lot of trouble keeping the right front tire underneath it. I don't know what I have to do. I just have to go back and look at it. I mean, I gotta figure out something. It's been a couple days now. I've been struggling to save a right front tire, which some places is good, but then like here it's bad. But yeah, they definitely had better cars than me. I just got lucky and, you know, caught the caution at the good time and then got tires with them and was able to just go through the traffic better than some of those guys. You know, they had that big wreck and I was able to go low and avoid it and gain so much track position. I was just lucky enough to hold off Scott. Scott was probably the other best car right there in the end there. And luckily I was able to get by him and be able to get the win, which is nice. I haven't won in a while, so it's really nice to be able to get back in victory lane.
Were you surprised that he didn't send it a little deeper into turn 3? Because watching you overdrove turn 3, and I imagine in anticipation of him maybe giving you a little shove, just trying to move you out of the groove. Were you surprised he never attempted that? He didn't even drive it in too deep down into 3.
I thought he did it in the 1 because I did it a little bit softer entry to center in the 1, and he really let the gas down. So I'm like, okay, I really don't want to give him the chance of maybe having that shot again. So I don't know. I know I screwed it up bad, but I mean, I left the door open on the bottom. But I just didn't want him to give him the chance to possibly do something like that. So that's why I just full sent it into 3. And yeah, probably would run that back a little bit differently. But I mean, I'm just glad I got the win overall, to be honest.
I was about to say it all worked out for you, so it couldn't be too bad. Ed, who do you have to thank at the end of this one, bud?
I want to thank you guys as usual. You know, Grid Vision always does an amazing job with the broadcast between you and Joe and Darb for the producing as usual. And I want to thank SSRL for allowing me to join the league. One Sim Motorsports with Kazi, Justin, Johan, Reese, who's hopefully going to be back soon. But yeah, it was fun to get back in here and show the boys I still got it a little bit. I mean, you know, it's been a while since I've been that competitive in a race for a little bit. So it's nice to be able to show I still got it. But yeah, just thanks to everybody for watching, and you know, thanks for you guys again for putting on an amazing show as always, no matter where you guys are. So,
well, we appreciate you, Ed, and thank you for the kind words as well, and congratulations once again on the race win here tonight from Atlanta.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, that was your race winner, Edward Scherer Jr. And well, Joe, that's gonna do it here from us tonight. So, what did you think of this race, man? I thought it was pretty daggum good all the way through.
I love this track. I love this race. I thought it was pretty dadgum good all the way through. I think that's exactly the best way to put it. What a race tonight, and great stuff out of SSRL Master Series as usual.
Well, that's going to do it here from us at Grid Vision, and from the entire Grid Vision team, we'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted or getting your career started in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Congratulations to Edward Scherer Jr. for winning tonight's race from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. This has been Austin Edstrom, standing alongside Joe LaCastro and Austin Derbyshire. We will see you next time on the grid.